I wanted to talk today about thoughts and how much they affect how we feel and our lives in general. If we're creating this reality and our thoughts and feelings aren't real, and let me explain that. So, William Whitecloud, when he first said your thoughts and feelings aren't real, I was like, oh, I nearly turned it off. About the feelings, not so much the thoughts, because this whole healing journey, you're like, you got to feel it to heal it, right? And basically he was saying your thoughts are creating these emotions inside you, so they're creating these feelings. And so I guess in a whole, this is my interpretation, you can't pay attention to the thoughts that create feelings. So what I like to call this is the story. And what I've become really aware of lately is how my mind creates a story from literally everything, which is so funny because I'm getting told stories from spirit during meditation and in nature, but they're actual like fairy tale stories, whereas these are just stories. The mind has this strong need to make sense of everything. So it's going to grab the characters, the objects, and then it's going to fill in the blanks. And it's going to fill in the blanks with thoughts that create feelings based on past. So this is when it gets super interesting, because you can literally be living your life responding to people, even forming your personality around this story. So I guess this is kind of how they say everyone's living in their own reality, because it is basically your own creation of, like my other video, making sense of nonsense. And so, they say like phenomena, everything is just arising and passing away. And it's us that grabs onto these parts to form a story that basically feeds and fulfills the beliefs that we have. So if those beliefs aren't very good for us or aren't positive, then you can see how that's creating our reality, because it's grabbing parts and bits of things, and then it's forming a story and making us feel a certain way that reconfirms how we already feel. And when I say how we already feel, it's more so the beliefs. And so that's why they say do things that bring you into the present moment, because you are out of that. So the story's not being created, because you're actually just here in it right now. So basically all of that is just come up, if you're at the same part as me in the journey, is just really identifying when these thoughts come and knowing that they're not you. And also what's helping me is being aware of the feelings that they're bringing up, because we could live most of our life feeling a certain way, believing that that's just how we are, or that's how the world is. And it can actually just be these continuation of the thoughts and grasping the same objects and characters and dialogue to fit the story of our core belief. And this is why so much stuff in the healing path is about our beliefs. And now William Whitecloud, to use as another example, says that you can't fix your beliefs. So I don't know, the jury's still out, because I don't know, I feel like I've definitely changed a lot of my beliefs, which is interesting, but it's happened often in such dramatic ways, like the near-death experience, that it's kind of like you didn't really have a choice. So I'm not sure if I believe that in its entirety, but what I believe is pinpointing is that don't feed them. Learn to identify them. So he's like, when they arise, be aware of them. Like, oh, that's that belief that I'm not I'm not worthy, basically. Or that's that belief that I feel like nobody knows what they're doing around me. Because that can be a very controlling one that we could adapt it from when we were kids. But what I believe in my experience is that everyone's kind of got a sentence, and it's like a core belief that you think about the world, that you think about yourself, that it's kind of like, this is the way things are. And that core belief kind of has tendrils, is that what they're called? And that spreads out and has lots of little ones coming off it. And so it can get its way into like every part of your life in a different way. But it all leads back to that core belief. So being able to be aware, so not paying attention to the thought, but being aware that that's a thought connected to my core belief. And there's many, many processes you can get to find out your core beliefs, but that's a journey in itself. One thing that you can practice that I like to do is, say you're feeling a certain way. Say somebody triggers you. Sorry, I've got the sun right on my forehead. Say somebody triggers you, and however you feel in that moment, ask yourself, when did I first feel this way? Because even though somebody has upset you in the present, it's literally reality creating itself to reconfirm a belief that's deep within you. And so, when did I first feel this way? And allow yourself to see that part of you who's been hurt, who's been told, who's been lied to, who's been left stranded, who's been abandoned, who's been abused. Because that part of you is the reason why this reality keeps getting created. When people say, oh, all men are dicks, you know, it's because that's a core belief possibly planted from childhood, and then it just keeps recreating itself in this cycle. Or like, I can't trust anyone, or, you know, I'm always going to be on my own, things like that. So going back to the core of where you first felt it, allowing that part of you to be seen, and then really spending time with that part. So say it's the 5-year-old you, and you have a visual. And when I say a visual, it's not like I see you and me. It's not like we see each other here, or the phone, or the computer. It's like it comes through in different ways. So it could be a knowing, it could be a sensing, it could, it depends what your gifts are and how you view. But then allow yourself to ask what's going on. If you don't remember what's actually happening in the scene, there could be a bit of work in there for you. But it's all getting to know yourself. It's all the journey back to you. And the you I'm talking about is not the small self. It's the soul. It's the essence of who you are. And it's like we have adapted all these things in front of it. I'm feeling like this really nice energy right now. Adapted all these things in front of ourselves to overcome and to learn. That's our evolutionary process in this life. And yeah, we can get waylaid, we can go off the path. Well, I don't even actually know if you can. I know people say that, but every time I seemingly fuck up, I come back better than ever. So it's like you need to go off the path to learn certain things. But if you do go off the path once you're awakened, it's like torture. It really is. It is for me anyway. So I just wanted to reiterate about thoughts not being us, yes, but that's only half of the story. There is a link to why they're saying what they're saying a lot of the time, especially if they're reoccurring and especially if they bring up feelings, because the feelings can be created by thought, but often we're so self-sabotagey that we're creating these thoughts to create these feelings to reconfirm a belief that's deep within us. And therefore, it recreates it in our reality. So we're constantly living in the same belief, reconfirming the same things over and over again. So let me know in the comments, or if you liked this video, please like it, and we can reach more people. Share it around and subscribe. Okay, bye.